welcome to this explainer. If you've ever felt like you're just working incredibly hard day in and day out, but somehow still just drifting, like you're not actually ending up where you want to be, well, I've got to tell you, you are absolutely not alone. Today, we're unpacking something truly foundational. We are diving into a monumental body of work by Dr. C. Ruth Taylor. It's a massive series called Keys to Win at Life: 100 Proven Ways to Handle Life's Challenges. Now, out of those 100 proven strategies, we're going to zoom right in on key number 10, which is win with the power of design. If you're ready to stop just reacting to everything life throws at you and start actually creating it, this explainer is literally going to change how you approach, well, everything.
Dr. Taylor anchors this entire concept with an absolutely stunning African proverb. It goes like this: if you can envision it, you can accomplish it. If you can imagine it, you can reach the heavens. Really think about that for a second. We constantly celebrate the late nights, the grinding, the hustle culture, right? But this proverb highlights a profound truth. All monumental success, every single great achievement, first begins quietly in the imagination. If you try to bypass that vision stage and just jump straight into the physical labor of building a life, you're essentially putting a hard cap on your own potential.
Okay, let's get down to brass tacks here. What exactly do we mean by design in this context? Well, Dr. Taylor connects this straight to Stephen Covey's legendary concept of starting with the end in mind. It's the deliberate act of envisioning the final outcome, the finished product, or the ultimate result long before you ever take a single physical action. It's kind of like an architect, right? An architect doesn't just show up to an empty dirt lot with a hammer and start nailing boards together, crossing their fingers and hoping a house magically appears. No way. They create a blueprint. And Dr. Taylor emphasizes that we aren't just talking about a vague little sketch on a napkin here. We are talking about a blueprint in high definition, a fully 3D mental model of the finished structure, constructed entirely in your mind before a single physical brick is ever laid.
Let's pick up the pace a bit and look at 3 practical analogies to really bridge the gap between this abstract philosophy and concrete reality. First up, business. If you're building a company, the power of design means seeing exactly how the daily operations will run in your head before you even bother establishing the corporate structure. Second, think about sports. Imagine you're the manager of a massive football league. You'd have to clearly visualize the entire framework of that league, the teams, the rules, the schedule, the whole shebang, before making a single plan to actualize it. And third, the playwright. A master playwright already knows the final curtain drop, the ultimate resolution of the play, before they ever write a single plot point to get the characters there. Every single one of them is designing the finish line first.
Now let's turn the lens away from business and sports for a minute and point it directly at you. When it comes to your own life, Dr. Taylor asks a deeply introspective 2-part question that's pretty heavy. First, where do you want to be 5 to 10 years from now? And second, what do you actually want others to say about you at your funeral? I know, it's intense. This is the ultimate eulogy test. But here's the thing. When you know exactly what you want people to say about who you were and how you lived, you can essentially reverse engineer your daily actions today to make that legacy your reality.
So, the big question is, how do we actually do this? Well, Dr. Taylor breaks this down beautifully in her Design to Win life planning course into some very specific focus areas. Because listen, you can't just vaguely wish for a good life. Actually, scratch that, you can, but it won't get you very far. You need distinct blueprints. What exactly is your financial fitness design? What's your marriage design? What about your academic goals, your emotional health, or your overall relationship design? You absolutely cannot leave these crucial life categories up to chance, just floating around in reactive survival mode. The takeaway here is to sit down today, pull out a piece of paper, and deliberately envision a highly specific design for each of these distinct areas.
Moving on to our next section, real-life application, focusing on Reverend Dr. Garnett Roper and the Jamaica Theological Seminary.
To really move this from just theory into undeniable proof, let's look at this case study of the Jamaica Theological Seminary. This perfectly encapsulates the sheer force of the design methodology when you actually put it into practice. Back in 2010, the president, Reverend Dr. Garnett Roper, outlined a massive expansion vision for his seminary. And his design was ambitious. It included adding an online program, creating brand new degree offerings, and even establishing satellite campuses in other Caribbean islands. It was a massive 3D blueprint entirely in his mind. But shortly after, he didn't just keep it a secret. He shared this exact design with his staff and immediately began taking targeted steps to implement it. And because he started with the end in mind, that abstract vision from 2010 completely transformed into a massive physical reality. Since then, the seminary successfully added at least 4 new degree programs, launched 2 physical campuses in the Eastern Caribbean, and fully established an online program.
It's pretty incredible, right? We've seen how architects build, how playwrights write, and how a seminary president massively expanded his institution across the Caribbean, all by utilizing the exact same key: envisioning the end before ever taking action. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I want to leave you with this one final thought. What does your life design look like today? Seriously, don't let another 24 hours just pass by on default. Grab a pen, step into the power of your own imagination, and start drafting your masterpiece.